Welcome to the Foreign Accent Stamp, the podcast that proves your voice is your greatest asset. I'm Rania Hupshar, and each week I bring you powerful insights, solo episodes, and conversations with non-native English-speaking entrepreneurs and high achievers who've built success on their own terms. This is about more than just speech. It's about mindset, growth, and owning every part of who you are. Are you ready to step into your next level? Let's dive in. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Foreign Accent Stamp. In today's episode, we're going to talk about deep conditioning and what it actually takes to change that. By the end, you'll see why surface fixes simply aren't enough and what we can do to snap out of it, to make a change, whether that's in our speech, in our mindset, in our actions, behaviors, in our everyday lives. Let's dive in. So maybe you're someone or you know someone who is always looking for quick fixes, right? Go on Google, search on, how can I present in front of people? How can I not be nervous? How can I change my accent in 3 days? The quick fixes, right? We're made to believe that some of these actually work. And that's complete BS because real change, lasting change takes time. Have you ever had someone in your life who's like, I'm just not a public speaker. I get nervous in front of people, so I'm clearly not built for this. Or, I am not made to talk on the phone because I get nervous. As soon as someone tries to call me, I want to throw the phone to the other end of the room. So, yeah, I'm just made this way. So that's how it's going to be for the rest of my life, I guess. It's the same with an accent. It's the same with any kind of habit. And oftentimes these habits are instilled into us by either our family, our friends, our environments, or society. And it takes a lot to even realize, wait, it doesn't have to be this way. Just because I've always done it this way, it doesn't mean I have to continue doing it this way. Or just because someone else says so doesn't mean it applies to me. Just because I get nauseous at the thoughts of standing up, speaking in front of my colleagues, doesn't mean I cannot do it. And I'm going to give you an example that maybe makes you chuckle, but it's a real life example of how deep this conditioning can go and how long it can take to really change it, to go from unconscious incompetence to unconscious competence. And I'm not there yet, but this weekend, I went from conscious incompetence to conscious competence. As I was walking to the market, we have a weekly market here. I was so fed up of me always being in a hurry or feeling like I was in a hurry. And you're probably going to think, what does this have to do with accent or speaking in front of people, please? Translate this into any area of your life that you might have thought to yourself, this is just the way it is, or this is just the way I was brought up. So back to the story. I came to the UK 4.5 years ago, and I knew one of the goals was to not feel like I was in a hurry all the time. And you might not know this, but I'm in a season of sacrifice at the moment. In a season, you might call it in a dormant season, like a flower that's like a calla lily. I love calla lilies that are dormant during the winter periods to gain energy again. So they don't grow. You don't see any plant coming out of the soil. But they're there. They're resting to gain energy. And this is pretty much the season that I'm in right now. And I made it a goal to enjoy as much as I can during the season, even though I'm not where I want to be yet. And even though I am making sacrifices right now, a couple of being, I am not making enough time or as much time as I wanted to reach out to friends, to reply to friends, to see friends. I am not traveling at all. Those of you who know me know that I love traveling, meeting new people, immersing myself in different cultures. And this whole part is missing. Yes, I'm waiting for my UK citizenship, basically. If everything goes according to plan, I'm going to have UK citizenship in 1.5 years. But still, even in the UK, I'm not traveling. I would love to, but this is not the season that I'm in, because right now, all my focus goes to the business, growing my business and making more impacts in people. And I know the goals that I have are way bigger than me. And I know I'm going to need all the energy that I can muster to reach them. And so, having that in mind, I wanted to make it a priority to not be in a hurry all the time and to go through life more consciously, more intentionally. And this started with me going to the weekly market, not in a freaking hurry all the time. Mind you, it took me 4.5 years to accomplish this. Because most of the time I went to the market, you're probably thinking, oh my God, Ronja, this is such a silly example. But take it and apply it to your life, right? So as I was walking to the market, usually I would constantly go, move away, move people. I wanted to get to the market as soon as possible, as fast as possible, and get home again. Not because I didn't enjoy going to the market, but because this is my conditioning, like, ooh, this is a waste of time. I need to make haste, right? And even when it was sunny outside, I would still be in a rush. Like, I felt like I was being in a rush, even though I clearly wasn't. In fact, rarely was I ever in a rush here. And here, I mean here in the UK, compared to when I was in Switzerland. I lived life at 180 miles an hour, and I didn't like it. Yes, I could, but I didn't like it. And going to the market regularly, it just triggered something in me. I wanted to be able to enjoy the flowers of the market. I wanted to be able to enjoy the weather if it was sunny. I wanted to enjoy seeing all the bread that they made, all the produce that people made, that they spent time creating and making in their kitchen or in their garden or wherever. And I never made time to do so. And I knew I wanted to change this. But even during the times when I consciously told myself, oh, I want to enjoy this, my body had other plans. My body was in a rush because all my life, for as long as I can remember, I was always in a rush. I was always in a rush to get to the next thing. And rarely did I ever stop to smell the roses, literally, except maybe when I was on holiday. But this is the thing. I always needed a holiday, time off work, to make time for myself to actually enjoy my life. And I knew going to the UK, I wanted to change this. It needed to change. And the weekly market was the thing I chose to be my project. So, sometimes I was walking to the market and I didn't even think about not hurrying, not walking fast. It just, my body did it automatically. But a lot of times I would think to myself, okay, Ronja, you're going to go to the market and walk very consciously. Take everything in. But, in the end, it wouldn't work. And I missed all of it. And I would come home with all the produce. And I thought, okay, I can't remember a thing. It was just, it went by in a hurry. And I didn't like it. I didn't like it one bit. I know that was my conditioning. Always be in a hurry. And yes, it does depend on your environment as well. I was working and studying in Zurich for 10 years, a decade. And if you don't know anything about Zurich, you need to know that walking slowly is basically a capital offense. And so even through my environment, not only through my life, having 3 jobs alongside uni and being a board member in a committee, it was a lot. It was a lot in my own life. So I needed to hurry from point A to point B all the time, but also through my environment. It just reinforced that conditioning of you're going to need to be in a hurry, going from point A to point B. And if you're not in a hurry, it's a waste of time. And it took me long enough to recondition. And that's what I'm telling you. Last Saturday, I managed to walk slowly and actually enjoy it. And I was so proud of myself. And I know this is a small example, but I enjoyed seeing all the stalls, all the stores. I stopped twice at a jewelry store. Those of you who know me know that this is not really, like, I could spend $1 million easily in jewelry. This is my material weakness. But I made the time to look at the jewelry, and not just for a couple of seconds, but I stood there for a good 5 minutes, like cumulatively. Like I stood there twice, so maybe 2.5 minutes each. And I made the time, and I looked at each dog. I looked at each restaurant, at each cafe, at each sign in front of the restaurant and the cafes, and I took it all in. And I told myself, of course, there were people walking in front of me who walked even slower than me. And my initial reaction was, oh, just walk faster, please. But then I immediately went, okay, no, that's actually doing you a favor because you wanted to take it slow anyway. And walking back, I chose to go to Waitrose real quick. For those of you not familiar with the UK, Waitrose is a supermarket. Wanted to buy some groceries as well. And as I was walking down one of the streets, a couple walked in front of me with their stroller, with their baby stroller, and they walked really, really, really slowly. And old me would have freaked out. I think I would have turned around and chosen another path. And last Saturday, I just thought, this gives me a chance to enjoy the sun more. This gives me more time to embrace the warmth of my skin and soak up vitamin D, precious vitamin D that's so rare here in the UK. And I just went and enjoyed it. And I walked slowly as they did in front of me. And at one point, they realized that someone was behind them. And they turned around and they made space for me to walk past and even apologized. And I went, oh, don't worry about it. I enjoyed the sun, and I really, truly meant it because I was so glad I got the opportunity to spend a bit more time outside. I mean, yes, I could have just gone outside for a walk. Didn't go because I chose to work. But in that moment, I was grateful. I wasn't thinking, oh, I needed to walk past. This is a waste of my time. I just want to go grocery shopping. They're robbing me of precious time that I could spend working on my business or doing something else. I didn't think that for a second. And then I thought that old me would have thought that. And that's when I was so proud of myself and realized how much it took for me to even do this little thing that changed that deep conditioning and this little thing of how fast am I walking to the market? How fast am I walking to the grocery store? And it's the same with everything. It's the same with accent. It's the same with public speaking. I can tell you that I'm working on something else as well. I'm working on my own accent, not the British accent. Yes, I'm working on British accent as well, but I'm working on my Swiss accent, meaning when I had moved my life to Zurich, I had, quote unquote, had to change my accent because people in Zurich wouldn't understand me very well. AKA, they didn't really make the effort to understand me. And so I changed my R's, and I even changed some of the words. So I actually speak a mix of dialects when I speak Swiss German, and I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. And since I'm not working in Zurich anymore, I don't see the point of pronouncing R's differently than my natural accent. And it makes me low-key mad that I even changed it in the first place. But, that's something to unpack and to talk about in another episode because that's important. I feel way differently about my Swiss German accent than I do Swiss German accent change than I do about my English accent change. So we're going to talk about this in another episode. But that's just to say I'm working on other things as well. And I do have other thoughts, other behaviors, other accent patterns that are deeply conditioned, that I still work on. And I continue to question everything that I believe, that I do, that I think in order to become better, a better person, a better coach, and hopefully a better friend as well. And that's what I want to give to you today. Not only the knowledge that these things take time. As soon as you want to change your habitual muscle patterns in your mouth, your habitual thought patterns in your brain, anything that you've done for a number of years, it does take time. And you can be conscious of it and still revert back to the old habit. It does take time to go from conscious incompetence to unconscious competence. You feel me? And by the way, this is also why with every client, I'm not only telling them, oh, this is how it's supposed to sound and this is what you're supposed to do, but also what they're doing now, because it doesn't serve them if they know where they need to go, what they need to sound like, if they don't know where they come from, what they're doing right now. Because whenever they do it, they need to recognize it. They need to be aware of it. Same with me hurrying to the market. Oh, Rania, you're hurrying right now. Your legs are moving too fast. Better not hurry. That's what we want to change. This is the mindset shift, the deep conditioning, the change of that takes time. But let me tell you, it lasts. If you decide to work on it, that is. So what I wanted to encourage you with was, even if you think, oh, I need to change XYZ fast, or, oh, I want to become a great public speaker, like now. That's great. That enthusiasm, keep that. But reframe it as well to, while I want to change it right now, I'm also conscious of it takes time. I'm building something that lasts. So it's okay if it doesn't happen overnight, as long as I'm sticking with it and as long as I'm conscious of the shifts that I need to take. And I hope you can take pride in doing this deeper work, in doing these changes, so you can become a better speaker, a better entrepreneur, a better person, a better speaker, a better friend, even if it's slower. But be proud of every change, every shift that you make that's bringing you closer to point B. If you're thinking, oh, I'm someone who really struggles with public speaking, or I'm someone who really struggles with their pronunciation, with their accent, think, yes, I might struggle, but I'm someone who works on it. I'm working. I'm training my speech. I'm working on becoming a better speaker. I'm working on becoming an English speaker like a pro. So yes, I might not be the best at it now, but I'm sure as hell working on it, and I can be proud of myself for doing so, even if it takes time, because it does. And hey, listen, if any of this resonated, if you want to share with me what you want to work on, which beliefs you questioned, which habits that you wanted to change, please drop me a DM on Instagram. Please reach out. I'm always curious to hear what you thought of the episode and what resonated with you the most. All right, thanks for listening, and here we are at the next episode. Thanks for listening to the Foreign Accent Stamp. If you love this episode, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want to support the show, take 10 seconds to leave a 5-star review. It helps more people find these conversations, and it would mean the world to me. For more insights or to nominate a guest, head to raniahupshire.com/podcast. Until the next episode, I appreciate you.